How's it going, guys? I'm Chill, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at your favorite spy Cypher, specifically how you can dominate on Breeze. In this guide, we'll walk through defense and attack setups showing all the different spots to use Cypher's utility effectively. We'll also go over what I think are some of the best setup combinations, some one-way cages, and even some off-site setups. Follow this guide and you'll become the #1 Cypher in your room. That's a guarantee. Let's get into it. Let's start over on defender side, A site. We'll start by throwing a cam on this pipe, which overlooks entrance to site as well as anyone crossing mid. Super strong cam, and it's covered by the tree, making it hard to spot. Next, you can see all these different trapwire spots which make use of the rock wall and stack of boxes. You won't really want to throw the same one twice if an attacker discovers them one round. Mix it up and it'll be a nightmare for your enemy team. Feel free to pause this video to see exactly where I throw each trapwire. These two on the pyramids are great for detecting a default plant. Head on over to wood doors and we have a couple simple traps, and we even get a nice one-way on top of the metal crossbeam. I'll show the lineup for that one in a sec. Moving back over towards entrance, you have a default cage on the ground here, and if we hop up to A switch, we can use the cages above A entrance for a one-way smoke. This cage is not perfect for a one-way by any means, but if timed correctly with a trapwire, it can net a pick for you or a teammate holding the A switch angle. Now you might be thinking, hey man, I know an even better spot to throw that one way, and it's right here on the metal bars. It's lower than the one you showed, which blocks the attacker's view from A switch even better. Why don't you show the lineup for that? And to that I say, I've tried. Trust me, when it comes to one-way lineups, I'm pretty thorough. Sometimes too thorough. So much so that I might even waste 20 minutes of my day trying to find a spot that's consistent and easy. This one way has none of that. Not only that, but getting into one of the only lineup positions that sometimes works has to be pixel perfect. And if you mess up, you are left with a useless cage on the ground. So no, this spot is not worth the effort. Moving on. Let me show you a few spots where we can throw the cam. You can place the first one I showed in the walkthrough on the line of the pipe. Just be aware, if you throw it too far in any other direction, you won't have a clear view due to the big leaves. Next, we can stand on these boxes and put a cam on the metal bar by jumping. This cam shows attackers entering from site and overlooks default plant while simultaneously remaining hidden from A entrance. Just make sure you or your teammate watch entrance to site since the cam can't see it. If we come up onto the ledge of A switch, we can jump throw a cam onto these round off-white, let's call them containers of some kind. This is a great spot that's hidden from the entrance and looks down on your enemies like your favorite anime villain. Play around with a few areas along the back wall and you'll find some sneaky spots that'll give your attackers a headache. Now that we have an idea of where all these pieces go together, we can create some powerful setups. Here's an example of a good default setup that covers all your bases. Cam goes on the pipe, trapwire in the entrance with a ground cage, and then head over to the doors where we'll throw a trap and a one-way cage. The lineup doesn't have to be perfect as long as you give yourself enough room to see the vertical side of the crossbeam.
Cage triggered.
For an alternative setup, we start with a normal trapwire so that our one-way cage can be used. Then we come over to the corner for that lineup. Throw another cage in the mid-wood doors entrance, place your second trapwire on default plant. Hop up onto A switch to place our cam on the container. If an enemy comes through mid, we can reveal them with our cam and activate the cage and get an easy frag. If you or a teammate is on A switch, you can activate the one-way cage if an enemy is spotted coming into entrance. That's going to be it for A. There are plenty of combos that you can use with the setup shown here. Let's head over to B. Similar to A, there are two entrances to site that we want to cover. We have a couple trapwire spots close and deep into B tunnel. If you start the round at the B tunnel barrier, you can get a trap that cuts off B elbow. Just make sure you're quick about it. Heading back to the site, we can use this one way from two different angles. One angle is here at the back of site and the other is closer to the arches. Really solid and easy to throw one way. Alternatively, we can use this one way by entrance. It's most effective while holding a close left angle. At entrance, we have a few trapwire setups that are reminiscent of A entrance on Ascent. We can use these low to the ground traps, standard doorway traps, and some top-down ones as an alt. Default cages can be used in the entrances to delay a fast push as well. Next, we can technically use one-ways here, but the interesting thing is you can really only use these in coordination with a teammate that can get on top of this pillar in the back of site. Since they are too high up, the only agents that can take advantage of this are Jet, Raze, Omen, and maybe Sage if you use her wall boost. Still, if you are successful, you can net a kill or two. Moving into sight, there are a couple standard traps that can catch an attacker off guard, allowing for a kill while playing back sight. For our default cam spot, we can throw one up into the ivy, which reveals entrance and tunnel. Activating that tunnel one way while using this cam could work well here. And finally, we have 2 trap wires that can be used to reveal a default plant. Onto the camera spots. Hop on the ledge here, aim at the pink flower, and place the cam at the peak of your jump. If you're playing on low settings, you might not have the flower here, so you might have to practice it a few times. If you place it too far in either direction, the ivy may block your vision. The next cam is placed on this tree. You may have to begin the jump with the cam a little lower than the top of the brick wall for it to work. This spot sees attackers coming from B main or B window, as well as a portion of tunnel. You can see here that an enemy will be seen if standing on the left side of tunnel, but if they sneak through right side, you have a bit of a blind spot, so just keep that in mind. Finally, we'll use this cam for our one-way setup. This cam actually utilizes the B elbow arches as a one-way. How neat is that?
That's pretty neat.
This will allow us to know when to activate the one-way for our teammate. Let's go over a good default setup for B site. Start with a standard trap and cage in entrance, place your cam here, and throw that trap and elbow to get early info on a mid push. The one-way can be done by standing in this corner and aiming your crosshair at the lower notch on this pipe fixture. Easy. I believe a good spot to play is back corner sight. You can use your cages if you need to get out of a sticky situation, as the sight area is pretty open. Now that we have a solid default, let's take a look at the alternative. We'll start with our arch cam and then head over to sight for our one-way lineups. Don't worry if you can't get both cages, the left one matters more since it's likely attackers will peek from elbow. We can use grooves of the tiles and metal plate here. On the opposite side, we use the meeting place of the metal grate and tiles. Aim at the third brick up just like the left side. There's your double one-way for entrance. Make sure you tell your teammate to plant themselves on the pillar for this to work. Next, throw a trap between these boxes. Plenty of spots in the tunnel to mix up your traps each round. Next, place a trap wire on the brick wall to reveal a default planter. Now we got a little pro tip for you. If you spot and tag an enemy with this one-way cam before they can spot it, you can attempt to pull the cam away before it's destroyed so that you can use it again for post-plant. Both sites are covered pretty well now. Let's take a look at what an off-site setup might look like. I would only recommend doing this in specific scenarios and maybe only once or twice on defense, as your utility would be more useful directly on A or B site. But regardless, we have some options here. We can prevent a deep flank with a trap in defender spawn behind this doorway. Throw a sneaky cam on the bottom of this box stack to see into B site, elbow, and mid. Head back over towards A hall and place a trap wire and cage at metal door. This setup allows for some flexibility since you can rely on your utility to watch these areas for you. Since Breeze is a large open map, you can play together with a teammate on site. That's it for defender side. On to attack. Here are some trap wires you can use to prevent a big flank. On an A or B push, you'll need to use both traps to cover your flank routes. For B, we'll place one in mid cannon and snake. For A, we'll place one in lobby and ropes. There are a lot of possibilities for attacking, but I'll give you the general idea for each site. A great camera to throw to get some eyes on site is right here on this leaf. We can see wood doors, switch, and a portion of A bridge. For a safe plant, throw a cage on default and get the bomb down. This works as solid cover if a teammate is planting as well. Don't forget to be a team player sometimes, it's helpful. If you go deeper into sight, you can throw a cage on A switch to set up for the retake. Let's head over to B. Throw down your flank traps and head to sight. This cam will allow you to see a large majority of sight and B tunnel. Make sure to clear close left since your cam won't be able to see the whole thing. Throw a cage towards tunnel. This doesn't have to be perfect as long as it blocks the defender's view while you make your way to sight. If you happen to have a trap that you didn't use for flank, you can use the same trap that we use on our defender side setup to reveal the diffuser. Use your other cage at your discretion. Hopefully you Cypher mains get a few ideas that you can use in your future matches. If you did, liking the video helps me out a lot. Hit the sub button if you'd like to see more guides like this, and if you have any suggestions for content you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments. It was a pleasure making this guide for you guys. That's going to be it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.